Oh, Andrea Tessmann.
Kirk Buchner.
My wife said I had to apologize for being drunk last time.
Oh dear.
She said you left her alone with 3 Aussies and you drunk. Well, I said I looked back. I was talking the whole time, but you were loud.
You were fine. It's not the first time you've been drunk on this podcast.
Not the last either.
Not
sober today though. I might want to drink more after learning more about. Oh yeah, look at you go. What is that anyway? I'm not familiar with that.
A truly hard seltzer strawberry lemonade.
See, things have changed so much since I've left Canada. Now there's a lot more people who are non-binary, which I never heard of, or gender fluid, and hard seltzer is apparently everywhere.
Everywhere. I was at a wedding. Well, I'd say last summer, but 2020 didn't exist, so it was 2019. Mm-hmm. I swear everybody was drinking hard seltzers. Like almost nobody was drinking beer.
I've never even had one. I never even heard of one.
It's basically vodka soda with some flavoring, but it's in a convenient can.
Yeah, so I get so confused because I see these commercials from Bud Light and all this stuff. But anyway, no one wants to hear about my drunken apology. Actually, my sober apology about my drunken performance. Yeah, that sounds like something I would do after sex. Anyway, probably have. But on August 25th, 1979, I turned 7. And if the radio was on, I probably heard this amazing song, or at least now I don't find it as amazing as I used to. Thanks, Andrea.
Sorry.
Did you know about some of this stuff before?
Oh, I was well aware of the lyrics of this song.
Well, I knew the lyrics, just some of the other stuff that I kind of learned about.
I brought it up as being like the most popular statutory rape song.
Yeah, but when you mentioned that, I was drunk and I don't remember you saying that. Remember, I had to message you and ask what the song was.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Because I didn't remember. Because we also talked for another hour after, and I probably drank 6 more beers during that time frame. Which, yeah. But my Sharona, the Knack, not a misnomer when people say they're a one-hit wonder. They're not. I do remember when this came out, Good Girls Don't. I remember that and hearing the airplay for that, which went number 11 in the United States. So they're arguably a 1-album wonder. And there's a lot to unpack here, which you wouldn't think that there is, but there is. So I guess we start off with our lead singer here. I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
Now that you say that, now I'm like, what is his name?
Yeah, I just blanked on it. But while we're looking that up, so he's from Detroit. He's in a band signed by RCA that go nowhere. I remember the band name's The Sky or something like that. But it didn't work out. Band breaks up. He goes to LA looking for fame and fortune, and it does work out reasonably well for him, as he forms the Knack with another gentleman, 3 other guys, and they're not bad.
Well, they shop around to try to find a record label and get turned down by everyone, but then they start actually playing with a bunch of pretty famous musicians.
Doug Fieger or Fieger.
Yeah, Fieger, yeah.
Yeah. How did I blank on that? I was reading all about him all day, and I just blanked on this guy's name.
But yeah, so they're gigging around town, and they play with like Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty, and suddenly they manage, because they got this clout behind them now of other famous artists that they're performing with, they get a bidding war from record labels trying to sign them, and sign one of the highest contracts, like a huge amount of money for a basically unknown band.
Yeah, and they were heavily promoted, and a lot of it was really on the strength of this one song. And we got to talk about this. My Sharona. There is a Sharona. Now, I think a lot of people who are checking into this probably know that already. I think even when I was a kid, I saw Sharona on Entertainment Tonight talk about, yes, I'm Sharona. So she's done interview upon interview on that. Here's what I didn't know. I didn't know she was 17 then, and he was 25, and he basically stalked the fuck out of her. That's what he did.
He walked into a clothing store, saw this beautiful teenager behind the counter. I guess he was in a relationship. She was in love with her boyfriend. He gave her tickets to a show.
But when he did that, his girlfriend was with them at the time.
Yes.
I'm like, holy crap. Which, I mean, it takes some balls to do that. I don't think I could do that. I've been in a situation where I was dating someone I was 22, and she said she was 18. Then she told me later she was really 16. Thankfully, before something happened.
And you didn't write a song about all the dirty things you want to happen.
No, I said, okay, we're done immediately. Like that's that. No, I did not write oh my God. So the song is almost like power pop perfection.
It really is.
Right from the opening hook. Do 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 do, and the guitar. It grabs you immediately. And Doug's vocals for this, which is teen angst of a different kind. I'm angsting for a teen. It's perfect. It actually is. It's perfect. His voice for this type of song is phenomenal. And how they came up with it, I don't know whether it was him or whether his main partner, what's his name, Aver, that's his last name, but he was the main musician behind it. So basically, they're the
Burton Avers.
Burton Aver, thank you. And it works. Everything about this sort of works. When you're gonna give me some time, Sharona. I didn't even know there was actually someone named before all this. Who names her kid Sharona? Probably
apparently
not.
One of her annoyances before this song was that nobody ever pronounced her name right. So when suddenly there was a #1 hit with her name, everybody knew her name from that point on.
Well, how do you see that and come up with something else?
My guess would be Sharona.
Yes.
Because Sharon would be Sharon. You wouldn't think to put the emphasis on the O.
I suppose not. When you're gonna give me some time, Sharona. Yeah, it doesn't work. It probably wouldn't be a song. But
I agree with you though about his voice. He's it's kind of whiny and aggravating, but he's not really singing. He's just yelling into the mic through most of the song.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's talking like a horny fuck, which is what he wants. And this relationship did happen. Took apparently a year. Here's another thing I didn't know. I remember the album cover because my brother had it on cassette. So I messaged him last night, said, what do you remember of this? Nothing. Thanks, Hans. If you're listening, thanks. Older brother gave me nothing to work with because there was a whole bunch of questions that I wanted to ask him about this backlash that I didn't even know they had, but we'll get there.
So was it the album, like the full album, or just the single?
No, it was the full album.
Because when I saw the cover of the single, it brought back to mind your comments about Nancy Sinatra's background. Was it Nancy Sinatra? No. Which background singer were you doing the nipple search for?
Oh, Funky Town.
Or Funky Town, the background dancer. Yeah. It's like you don't have to search for those ones.
No, and she said in some interviews that's tame today. No, it isn't.
No, that's still pretty graphic.
Yeah, and I'm sure maybe they airbrush a little bit more on the whole nipple, but it's okay. Yeah, there's no actual skin showing in the chest or cleavage area.
She's wearing blue jeans and a white tank top with no bra and it must have been very cold. We'll just.
Yes. The
And then
nipples
what was the
were,
comment I saw? Came for the knack, stayed for the rack.
I didn't see that, but that's awesome. Those nipples were as cold as ice, Sharona. No? Okay. So she's on the cover of that. They're a couple. But then the rest of the whole.
So it was a year. He basically stalked her for like a year before they started dating. Which is probably good because it probably would have been statutory rape if they hadn't waited till she was. Oh no, I don't know.
Maybe
Depends
that's
on
why
what.
maybe that's why they said they waited a year. Maybe that's not true.
No, she was apparently very much in love with her boyfriend.
Well, not
And
that much.
well, when someone who's like rocketing up in terms of fame and gonna take you jet setting around the world with them,
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
friends.
I would imagine not a lot of 18-year-old girls are thinking really long-term and really character-driven.
And a couple of interviews I read with her, she was very much not thinking long-term at that point. She's like, no, it was fun. We were just like hanging out with the band and like they were being stalked like the Beatles.
And yeah, they were. I guess there's sort of more to it than that, which might be why the backlash sort of came. But what this song, we talk about so many songs that have all these hooks. I think it's almost got more than one. I mean, the opening riff that's repeated that is really, really good. When did Sharona, just that name again, and then my that's a hook, and it grabs you, and it's interactive.
Synchronized woo is just perfect.
Yeah, and it's interactive because if you're hearing that in a club, you're all doing it. And how do you not? It's infectious.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as a lot of people, and we can sort of like take pot shots at this band, I still will always love the song.
Me too. And I can appreciate the song for the catchiness and just ignore the misogyny. It's fine. I also think that the guitar solo, especially the full guitar solo, not the radio cut, is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It's an underrated, extremely good guitar solo.
Did you watch the video?
No, I didn't see an actual video of it.
Okay, I don't know if it's like an actual video or a promo thing, but did you see like any performance of the song?
I saw a couple live performances.
Okay, so I don't know if it translated into a live performance because like there is an official video on it. Figure, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I apologize. Well, you're dead anyway, so you're not going to come at me. That didn't sound too good, did it? No. Maybe I should be drunk more often. I might have more tact. Probably not. I might slur my words, but I might think more. Anyway.
No.
So I don't know on the performances you saw, but if you look at the video or the official one, this guy looks like a complete sleazeball.
Oh yeah. It's like the band of four is comprised of three good-looking guys and
pervert.
Yeah.
This is the guy that I would see if you go to the strip club. He's the guy at the front row who's going to like put $1 bill in his mouth and then lie back. So which they'll grab. Okay, well, maybe you haven't been one. Sometimes some people will do that. Not me. I've never done that. I'm not putting I don't know where that damn money's been. I don't know where that stripper's been. But he looks like the type of guy he would do that. He looks like the type of guy if you saw sort of like a mugshot here, and then you like, oh, I wonder if it was I wonder if he got arrested for some like kiddie porn. Yep, he looks like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He looks.
Yeah, he's weird and creepy looking.
Yes, not terrible looking, but he looks like a creep. He looks like someone who you just don't want your daughter to come home with. Or like I'm gonna be, or if he does, like if I'm a dad, thank God I'm not. I'd beat the shit out of this guy if he dated my daughter, just from looks alone. It's like, I'm here to pick up your daughter.
Also, it's a different time. People looked a lot creepier in the late 70s. There was a creepier vibe to the look.
I suppose.
At least to the mainstream look. Like some of that long, stringy hair kind of thing going on, and
You know, he was giving me like Ray Davies Kinks vibes, and sure enough, in his second album, that's he did cover a Kinks song, which really didn't surprise me. So we've got the song that, again, catchy as hell. Even if you're a girl, you're not really skeeved out by it because you're not really catching some of the other lyrics. Like what's that one thing? Such a dirty mind. I like him of the young kind.
yeah, always get it up for the touch of the younger kind.
Yeah, always. Yeah, that's
Never gonna swap, give it up. Yeah, such a dirty mind. Oh, there's always running down the length of my thigh.
Sharona.
There's a lot of explicitly leaning lyrics, let's say.
But you're not really picking up on that when you're just listening to that in the car. Da 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 Sharona. Da 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 Sharona.
That's just it. And the way he screeches into the microphone,
right.
Don't necessarily really pick up on exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. So they hit it big, and maybe too big. Maybe this song was just too big for them, and I didn't remember. That's what I was trying to talk to my brother about. Like, was there some like backlash that he remembered, which he barely remembered this? Because I wasn't aware of it, but I kept like seeing interview upon interview about like or biography on biography how, well, this group wanted to be the Beatles. Like, I didn't really get that vibe from them.
I wouldn't say that they necessarily wanted to be the Beatles, but I think there was some of that British invasion feel to what they were trying to do.
I'm in a pile of other bands, so why them? Why all the hate for them? Unless maybe this guy really was.
They were they really kicked off the change from disco. They kind of, it seemed like they hit it so quickly that suddenly every band that had a sound like them was being signed. And
and maybe that's part of it though, Andrea, because they're getting credit for a whole bunch of stuff that I don't think they should have. And maybe that's why a lot of insiders or other people really turned on them. I mean, to me, this band is cheaper trick. See the pun I did?
And you know what? I totally get that. That's kind of how it worked out for me, or like in my brain. There's a few comparisons, but
I mean, the power pop sound had been there for years, and then Cheap Trick then were huge. What's their album, Live in Japan or something like that, which was just massive. And that's sort of like the same idea of sort of power pop, young angst and whatnot, only better.
Yep.
And again, not to say that this wasn't good. This was really good, but they did that better. So you get all these people saying, look at this new sound I've discovered. And I'm just trying to put my head in the mind of someone in 79. Hey, look what I got. Like, I've heard this shit before. Yeah, this is good, but don't give them credit. That's the only thing I'm trying to think of why there was this instant hatred for four guys who were doing something very well that other people had already done. And that's the only thing I can sort of think of. That's all I got. I don't know why people would just automatically bash this unless they just thought, this guy's creepy. I don't know what else.
I think that, I mean, beyond this song, they were creepy. I mean, you think, what was the other, the next biggest hit they had was Good Girls Don't.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
Like, the entire song is about, again, trying to sleep with underage girls. Like, get in your pants. What's another? There's some, when you, something, when you sit on my face. Like, it's got some raunchy lyrics. Everything about the aesthetic of this band is male bravado, broiness. Like,
none of this will ever age well. I mean, it amazes me how many songs from the 60s and 70s and 80s for that matter, which was an ode to 16 and 17-year-olds. And you're not even hiding it. Ringo Starr's biggest single solo hit was You're 16. Like you were 30 when you were in your early 30s. Why are you singing She's 16, she's beautiful, and she's mine? What's the matter with you? Like, why?
Well, and because I mean, people got married so much younger. They like had relationships so much
That's a
younger.
good point. That's a very
My
good point.
grandparents were married at 20. So, and they were together since they were like 15 or 16.
Okay, that's
So
odd.
I think,
I didn't think
and
about
he tried to say that, I mean, he wrote it from the perspective of a 14-year-old. No, you didn't write My Sharona from the perspective of a 14-year-old because you said literally get it up for the touch of a younger kind, like you're talking about younger women. The Good Girls Don't, maybe I could get around that in terms of sure, I guess maybe that just has all the horniness of a 14-year-old boy.
it.
Sure. But My Sharona is definitely written from the perspective of a 20-something-year-old dude who's got the hots for a teenager.
Well, it was his ode. I totally agree with you. There's no way that he was sort of thinking about this as a 14-year-old, unless he's really has thought the same way since he was 14, which probably is true.
Also, like, he's so worked up that he can't even like sing the last verse. He's just like, ah, rah, rah. He doesn't even say anything. There's no lyrics.
What was I'm trying to bring up here? I just had this. The name of the second album, Knack discography. If there's any doubt,
Wasn't that Little Girls Know, or what little something about
something really disgusting. Oh, but the little girls understand.
That's what it is.
Understand what? And he tries to pass it off as like because it was from a line from an old Robert Johnson, an old blues staple, and the line came after the men don't understand, but the little girls will understand. But which is a song about anal sex, by the way. Backdoor man. I mean, there's no ambiguity there.
Yep, that's fair.
But yeah, that's what you picked up. You're not listening to these old stuff. There's none of that in your music. The little girls, who that would buy that? I don't want to buy that album. And yeah, so I'm looking at some of the critical reviews on that particular album from then, and it pretty much says this is just some horny pervert. And this is from not exactly the woke era of the early 80s when they were saying that. So they were saying that then. So you get a backlash there. Electronica's changed super quick. And again, the older this guy gets, the skeevier it is. And at that point, well, we were done with the Knack. That was it. They were over. A couple more albums that nobody bought. That was it. Until... But sorry, yeah, something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so I found like a really, really great summary of this album.
Okay.
It's a totally
second album?
No, actually the first one.
Okay.
It's a totally fucked up album lyrically, but that honestly almost makes me like it more. It perfectly describes what it's like to be a shitty, horny, bitter little fucking twerp of a white guy from the age of 15 to 24. It's a 40-minute ode to a problematic pervert. Never has toxic masculinity been so damn catchy.
Okay, that would have had to been written recently because nobody was using the terms toxic masculinity.
Oh no, yeah, this was written like a year or so ago.
It's interesting how we've sort of changed two words that never went together: toxic and masculinity. Here we are. What do I know?
But you were going
to. Yeah. I was gonna say, because I know that we messaged each other a couple times about this, and this song had a comeback in 1994. Actually, it charted again. I don't remember what, but not very high, but it still charted.
Yeah, I think 80 something, but still.
Something like that, yeah. On the Reality Bites soundtrack, and it was used in the film where I remember right, it's Winona Ryder. I didn't go back and watch the film. I should, but I hate Steve Zahn. I don't know why. It's just like if he's in it, I'm not going to watch it. So, or I'm not going to rewatch it. Or I think I fast forward through all his scenes. It's Winona Ryder and Janine Garofalo, I think, just dancing to the song in a gas station like a convenience store, and Ethan Hawke just looking dopey as fuck. Hey, here's a question. In that film, if you're Winona Ryder, who are you taking? Ben Stiller or
Ben
Ethan
Stiller.
Hawke? Really?
Ethan Hawke's dopey looking in general.
Okay. So, but I'm talking the characters though. Because like
I have poor judgment in men sometimes, apparently.
Okay. I don't know that this really helped. I also realize this is another song that we've now sort of done that Weird Al has covered. Here's something interesting.
His first.
His
It was
first.
actually what gave him his break.
And apparently he helped. Feiger helped Weird Al.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he heard it, he liked it, and he passed it on to some record executives.
Yeah, the song in question, for those unaware, it was My Bologna. I don't remember how that went, but I know I've heard it a few times. But yeah, Weird Al is still with us, and the Knack, we're done. We're done after this. Mr. Feiger left us at age 58 from cancer. And Sharona lives on, still doing interviews about this. And
she is a LA real estate agent and has been for 30 years.
More power to her. Clearly a very important part of her life. No one gets her name wrong anymore, as you said. And
she said every time people ask about, oh, like in the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm sure she's gotten listings because of that.
Probably.
I can't see how not. So yeah, this is a product of its time, and it's still in a vacuum as catchy as hell. This might be one of the catchiest songs we've ever done.
I still sing along with it. Yeah. As you said, when it comes on, if you're in the car, if you're in a bar, whatever, everybody just pipes in with, woo!
You know it. You can kind of forgive a bit of this because as far as we know, he never did have sex with an underage girl. Unless maybe he was underage, and that's totally different. But it's, yeah, for anyone listening, watching, watch the video. Tell me if you think I'm right. Next week, we'll sort of bring up some comments. We had some comments that came up on our last one, or not our last one, the Melanie. Brand new key. Apparently someone didn't necessarily care for the fact I think Melanie's a boring name. But we can go into more depth on that. There was actually a lot of great points that person did, unless you've got a new fan that I'm not aware of.
I only know of the one.
You only know of the one. Well, I mean, now it's doubled. Look at that. Not many people can say they've doubled their fan base. And you can definitely say that. So you know what I got for you next week? I thought we would do, I'm kind of inspired, and this is real by something I just did. I'm going to do some blatant self-promotion here. Coming up soon. Well, it's our show. This is our show.
But still, it's your channel.
My channel, I suppose. Well, I've got the first episode of This Crap was on national television has come out. We're episode 1. We look at the Star Wars Holiday Special. Well, Star Wars had a #1 hit, and we're gonna look at that.
What is it?
Star Wars theme. Somebody just made a disco version of it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That made a #1 hit? Oh,
Yep.
Now I'm excited. All right.
Yeah, it's absolutely awful.
I believe that.
But that's how big this thing was. So we're going to sort of like delve in a little bit in Star Wars, and you can sort of deconstruct this abortion of a disco sound.
All right.
Or I can give you an out. I'll see if you're going to take the out.
No.
No?
Let's do Star Wars.
All right. So the Star Wars theme by somebody named Miko,
Okay.
because we did Falco, so we might as well do Miko. And since Taco never went to #1, that ends the co's, I think.
I'm sure we can find some other co's.
Some other co's, yeah. And that's what we've got. So for that, may the force be with you for next week. Or it may not be. No, I don't know. We should have done that.
Hopefully the weather will have cooled off here and I will
Oh,
not be
yeah. You're having a
baseball
heat wave, a
sad.
glorious heat wave. Andrea put out one of those laugh out loud moments. I don't generally like to type LOL, because usually when I type LOL, that means I'm not actually LOLing. But I did when I saw your Facebook post, because there's a heat wave all over. Hopefully when you're
All over British Columbia, we are having record high heat. Thankfully, I'm not in the worst of it, but some parts of British Columbia have gotten up to 47 degrees Celsius. For our Freedom Unit friends in the States, that's around 120, 125. Where
Right.
I am here, it got up to like 37, 38 today. So 110.
In Jasper, where you and I both used to live in the Canadian Rockies, it's going to go up to 40, 41.
Yeah, so they're having very
normal.
similar weather to what we're having. I consider Jasper honorary BC because they're much more like BC than Alberta.
Yeah, I could see that. So yeah, you had a warning.
I just asked if our friends to the south in Arizona or Texas could come up and pick up their weather because it's drunk in our yard and fucking shit up.
Yep. And it's perfect. It's very perfect, because if you guys can sort of like say that, hey, we don't want your cold. I always love how they say that. And an Arctic blast from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hitting Texas. Yeah. You're saying it's -5 there and your entire state has shut down. Yeah. So they laugh at us for not being able to tolerate the heat. I am blessed. I have a heat pump to heat my house, which I can reverse, and it has kept my house beautifully comfortable, mostly for my dog's sake, because she's a princess and doesn't like it above 22.
Snow tires? What do you mean, a tire made of snow?
Anyways, we should let these good folks go.
Absolutely. So stay safe, everyone, and stay hydrated. Yeah.
Always good advice.
Sometimes it doesn't always work out. Look what I do. I get drunk. I have to apologize to my podcasting partner. So my wife makes me do it. I mean, it's not fun. I'll do it again. But she knew what she got into. Yeah. She knew what she got into when she married me. I think we're done here, right? We're done. Bye, everybody.